Okay, shall we start with our prayers? Okay, who would like to say the prayers? Okay, Samskriti, go ahead.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vishesha Shunyavadi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Very good. Thank you, Samskriti. Okay, let me just join. Sorry. Share the screen. Yes. Can you all see?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Okay. So, what did we learn yesterday? Who was there yesterday? Can someone share? Tulsi, yes, go ahead, Tulsi. Tulsi raised hand, or I just thought, okay, you should join. Anyone would like to share? What did you? Yes, Tulsi would like to share. Would you like to share? Anyone else wants to share? Who was there yesterday? Nobody was there? None of you was there? Samskriti, were you there? Tulsi?
Yes, Mataji.
You were there yesterday?
Yes.
Yes, would you like to share? What did you learn yesterday? It was about who?
It was about Bhishma Dev and
yes.
That was at the end. Yeah.
Okay, you can look at this answer, no problem.
Yeah, how he passed away in the bed of arrows.
Very good. So we learned yesterday about glorious passing away of Bhishma Dev, right? First, he instructed Yudhishthir, that we learned last week, and then how he glorified Lord Krishna. He fixed his mind completely on Lord Krishna, and then he merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute. This is what we learned yesterday. And then after that, what happened? Maharaj Yudhishthir went to Hastinapur along with Lord Krishna, and he consoled his uncle and aunt, Gandhari. After this, then great religious king Maharaj Yudhishthir executed the royal power, and he took charge of the kingdom based on the guidelines he received from his uncle. Principles approved by his uncle and confirmed by Lord Shri Krishna. So he took charge of the kingdom because he had the guidance of his uncle and Lord Shri Krishna. So we will see what happened after that. So now another chapter starts of Canto 1. This is chapter 10, and we will read from verse 1. So whatever we learned about Bhishma Dev was in chapter, which chapter? Chapter number
9
of Canto. Which canto is going? Canto 1. Yes, we are reading Canto 1. There are many cantos like that, right? So this is our Canto 1. And we learned the lessons from chapter 9 until yesterday. From today, we are starting chapter 10. In the first verse, Shaunaka Rishi is asking, who is Shaunaka Rishi? We learned it in the beginning. Who is he? How is he asking questions suddenly here? Anyone remembers?
Shaunaka Rishi is telling everyone the Srimad Bhagavatam, the
Sutta Goswami is saying
the story.
Speaking. And Shaunaka Rishi is sitting in there. He's the leader. And he's asking a question now. Because they are all hearing these stories, these pastimes from Sutta Goswami. This is what we learned in the beginning when we started Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you all remember? And after saying this story until here, now Shaunaka Rishi has a question. He's asking, like we also do that, right? Whenever we hear something, when we have a question, we ask this to teacher, right? So he has a question here. He's asking, who would like to read this? Anyone would like to read? Let's see what he's asking. Okay. Let me see. So you all have raised hands. So Krishna Naina, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. After killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhisthirs, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not really enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness.
So what is he asking here? Did you understand the question, Krishna Naina? Do you want to share what anyone wants to share what you understood from the question? Subjects means what? We learned this before. Subjects.
Citizens.
Citizens, yes. So how did he rule his citizens? He's asking. Why is he asking this? Why this question is so important? He's asking after killing his enemies, who are the Kauravas, who desired to use his rightful inheritance. They were forcibly using, right? They were forcibly taking the kingdom. So after killing them, how did the greatest of all religious men? So Maharaj Yudhishthir is the man of religion. He was very, very truthful. He never lied. So how, with the assistance of his brothers, he ruled his citizens is what he's asking. Why is this important? Why he asked that? Because, like I said, King Yudhishthir is a man of religion. And he did not fight with his cousins for enjoying the kingdom, right? Was he thinking that, okay, let me fight with them so I become the king and I enjoy everything? Was he thinking like that? Was his attitude like that? Yes? Okay,
No.
Yes, I want to hear answers from you, okay? So that I know that you're all listening. And if you have any question, you can always ask me. So I want to hear from you whenever I'm asking a question, okay? So listen carefully. So King Yudhishthir, he did not want to enjoy the kingdom, right? Then why was he fighting? He was fighting for the right cause because the kingdom of Hastinapur was his rightful inheritance. He also was equally, he also had equal right to have that kingdom, right? And his cousins wanted to take it forcibly for themselves. They wanted to enjoy it. Who? The Kauravas. But Yudhishthir did not have that attitude. He also had the right, equal right. And so with the guidance of Lord Krishna, he fought. And all his cousins were killed in the war, right? So there is obvious, it's natural for him that he could not enjoy the results of his victory. Definitely he was also also thinking that my cousins are killed. So he could not enjoy the results of his victory. So he ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty. As a duty, he was ruling the kingdom with the assistance of his brothers. Who are his brothers? Yudhishthir's brothers?
Nakula. Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadev, and Bhishma.
Bhim. Yes, correct. So that is the reason. Because of all these reasons, Shaunaka Rishi was inquiring how his behavior was while ruling the kingdom after becoming a king, because he could easily enjoy the kingdom, right? So how was his attitude? How was his behavior? That means he wants to know how the ideal king should be, how he was ruling the kingdom as an ideal king. Okay, so this is the first question he's asking in the first verse of this chapter. Now what happens in the second verse? Now Sutta Goswami is answering. Okay, what is he answering? Let's see who wants to read this. Kavya, can you read?
Okay, Mataji. Sutta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after reestablishing Maharaj Yudhisthirs in his own kingdom and after destroying the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for reading. Okay, so Sutta Goswami is answering here. Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased. Krishna was very much pleased when Maharaj Yudhishthir took the charge of the kingdom. After restoring the Kuru dynasty. Why is it mentioned here after restoring the Kuru dynasty? What is meant by that? So, Lord wants, here it's mentioned in the purport, Lord wants the suffering human beings to come, wants the suffering human beings. The human beings are suffering here, right? In this material world. He wants us to come back, go back to him, and then go out of this suffering. That is the reason why he has actually created this material world, with that idea that, okay, Krishna thought, okay, you want to enjoy, you go there, you experience those sufferings, then get back to your senses, again get that knowledge, perform this devotional service, and then come back to me. That is, with that idea, actually material world is created. But those who don't accept this, those who don't accept the Lord, they suffer in the material world because of the illusion, because of the Maya. They think that they are the doers. Actually, who is the doer?
Lord Krishna.
Yes. So Krishna wants his bona fide representatives to rule this world, because there are so many people who just want to lord it over. They want to think that, they always think that I am the doer. So in such world, Krishna wants his bona fide representatives to rule the world. And who is one such representative here? Who is it? Whose story is going on? Now we are talking about whom? Maharaj
Yudhishthira.
He is his bona fide representative. So he wanted King Yudhishthira to become a king, and that's why he is very much pleased. So why Krishna descends? He descends to establish the sort of regime to kill the unwanted persons who have nothing to do with his plan. This all was done under the plan of Krishna, right? The war, the Mahabharata was done. Everything was the plan of Krishna, so that these unwanted people, they go away, they get killed, and then again this King Yudhishthira takes over the charge. So battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of the Lord, so that undesirable persons could get out of the world, and a peaceful kingdom under his devotee could be established. And that is the reason it shows why King Lord Krishna was pleased when Maharaj Yudhishthira took over the kingdom. Now in the third verse, What is mentioned in the third verse? Let's see what is mentioned. Who wants to read? You can raise your hands so that I can call out your names. Who is A? Okay.
Can I read, Mataji? This is Prahlad.
Okay, Prahlad, can you read?
Okay. Maharaj Yudhishthir, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Dev and Lord Sri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge, because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers.
So here it's mentioned how Maharaj Yudhishthir, he was enlightened by the instructions of Bhishma Dev, like that we saw, like how he received instructions from Bhishma Dev while he was on the bed of arrows, right? And then by Lord Krishna, and then he received that perfect knowledge under the guidance of Lord Sri Krishna and with the instructions of Bhishma Dev. And all his doubts were gone. They went away, they were gone. He did not have any doubts. And so he ruled over the earth. So the entire earth was ruled by Yudhishthir. The entire earth was ruled by Yudhishthir. So how was the scenario that time? When scenario of kingdom during the king Yudhishthir. So in those days, the king of Hastinapur was the emperor of the entire world. The king of the Hastinapur was the emperor of entire world, including the seas, including up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit. Who is the Maharaj Parikshit? How Maharaj Parikshit is related to Maharaj Yudhishthir? Who is Yudhishthir? To Maharaj Parikshit?
Grandson?
Yes,
Or
grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Parikshit was grandson of Yudhishthir. Whose son was he?
Uttaras? Abhimanyus and Uttaras?
And Abhimanyu was whose son?
Arjuna's?
Yes, so that's how they were related. And Maharaj Yudhishthir was, like we saw, he was assisted by his brothers, all the brothers. And that's how he was ruling over the kingdom of the earth, the entire earth. And he was instructed by Bhishma Dev and Lord. So he had the full knowledge in perfection. So this scenario is completely opposite to the scene which we get to see in the current world, right? Like we see nowadays, we have different, in a single country, we have so many different states, and people with their selfish motives, they have their own rules, right? The politicians or kings now, kings means we call them our politicians, right? They have different rules made by themselves. There is nothing which we see, which is based on the scriptures or the principles mentioned in the scriptures. So this is completely opposite to what we see in the current world. Then, because why it was different, it was opposite, because Maharaj Yudhishthir had received the knowledge from Bhishma Dev, and he was under the guidance of Lord Sri Krishna, and that we don't see in the current world. Now we will go to the verse 4. 1 second. Who has raised hands?
You want to read? You can read too.
Mataji, can Tulasi read?
Okay, Tulasi. Anyone else? Okay, we'll give it to Isha. Isha, can you read?
Yes, Mataji. During the reading
of Maharaj Yudhishthir,
the cloud showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the
necessities
of man in profusion due to its
fatty milk
bag and cheerful
attitude
of the cow used to moisten the
The grazing ground.
Raising ground with milk.
Yes. So this is what was happening at the time of Maharaj Yudhishthir. So there was abundance of rainfall. So earth produced all the necessities which people needed. The land was flourishing. And also the cows were giving abundant of milk. So this shows how the kingdom under the rules of King Yudhishthir was flourishing. The basic principle of economic development is centered on land and cows. So economic development is completely dependent on land and cows in that area, in that place. So because what do we get from the land? All these things we get from the land. Can someone read this?
Can Ramachandra?
Yes, go ahead, Ramachandra. Go ahead, Ramachandra.
Food grains, fruits, milk, mineral clothings, wood, and etc.
Yes. Okay, except milk. All these things we get from the land, right? So if we have all of this, do you think we need flesh, fish, any machinery? Do you think we need this if we have all of this in abundance? Do you think we can still live our lives if we have this in abundance?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Then do we need flesh?
No.
No. Fish? No. We don't need any machinery too. We can live our lives in simple ways too if we have all our basic necessities fulfilled, right? So our basic needs are very simple, so which can be fulfilled by the land and the cows. So let's see about the land, what is mentioned in the purport of this verse. Which verse we are reading now? This is the 4th verse of the 10th chapter. So land, so it's mentioned here, all over the world there were regulated rainfall. So rainfall, is it in our control?
No.
You think we can bring the rainfall? No. Who is the controller of the rainfall?
Indradev.
Indradev. And who is he? Who is he? Indradev is the
God of the heavens.
servant of the Lord. So when the Lord is obeyed by the king and the people under the king's administration, there are regulated rains from the horizon. When king and the people under the king's administration, when they obey the Lord, then we get regulated rain. And these rains are the causes of all varieties of production on the land. If we have enough of rainfall, then we get varieties of production on the land, right? Not only do regulated rains help ample production of grains, but they combined with astronomical influence, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. It also gives valuable stones and pearls, grains and vegetables. And fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. So you see, if we have regulated rainfall, we get everything. The land produces everything which we need as a basic necessity. So when we have these sufficient basic needs, do you think we need these artificially created things? Like we go do this, right? This is what is Prabhupada mentioned here. Cinemas, cars, radios, flesh, restaurants.
We don't need them.
If we have this sufficient. So this is what happened during Maharaj Yudhishthir. His kingdom had everything in abundance. So they were happy with, because their basic necessities were all fulfilled. They were provided. And then about cows, what is mentioned about cows in the purport by Srila Prabhupada? So cows were giving milk in abundance because they were joyful. See, it is said here that the cows used to moisten the pasturing land with milk because their milk bags are fatty. Their milk bags are full of milk and the animals were joyful. So there is a story, right? Maharaj Parikshit, while touring his vast kingdom, he saw a black man attempting to kill a cow. Then what he did, he arrested him and he chastised him sufficiently. So this is what actually a king is supposed to do, right? He should give protection to the animals, to the cows especially, because cows are dear to Krishna. Cows require proper protection for a joyful life by being fed with a sufficient quantity of grass in the field. They need protection. They shouldn't be killed for their selfish reasons, right? Man should be satisfied with grains, fruits, milk. But nowadays, what is happening? There are slaughterhouses and people even eat, which is so sinful. There should not be any slaughterhouses to kill innocent animals. Like King Parikshit, kings should protect the lives of innocent animals because they are not able to defend themselves, right? So animals are also country citizens. See, Prabhupada is mentioned here that they are also country citizens. So they shouldn't be allowed to be killed in slaughterhouses. They have the same right to live their lives, right? Like us. But because they are not able to speak or do anything or defend, what we do, we take advantage and people try to kill them. Right? So this is what is mentioned why cows should be protected. And that's what ISKCON is doing, right? We have goshalas everywhere and we are trying to protect the cows.
Cow protection.
Yes, which is very, very important, cow protection. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says we are all creatures of material nature. Right? It is said that Lord himself is the seed-giving father. He is the father of everyone, not just the human being. He is the father of all the animals, insects, trees, everyone. And material nature is the mother of all living beings in all shapes. Thus, mother material nature has enough foodstuff both for animals and for men. So whatever foodstuff is there is for us as well as animals. So by the grace of the Father Almighty Sri Krishna. So he has provided everything for everyone. But because of the selfish motives, what we do? We try to kill them. We try to take everything. But this did not happen at the time of King Yudhishthir when he was ruling the kingdom. And that's why everything was flourishing. And which we don't see nowadays in this world. That scenario we don't see. This is what is mentioned here. Land and the cows, both were flourishing. It's mentioned in the verse 4. Verse 5 now, let's see what is mentioned in verse 5. What was in flourishing in the kingdom? Who wants to read? Who did not read so far? Krish, did you want to read?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
the
please.
rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion.
Yes. So you can see rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, active drugs in every season. Everything was available in abundance here. So this was all because of the sanction of the Lord Krishna. Why Krishna was sanctioning all this for King Yudhishthir and his kingdom?
Because Yudhishthira was a very great devotee of the Lord.
And he was following, right? The instructions of Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes. He was following everything. So to make economic development by our own endeavors, is it possible? Economic development on our own?
No.
So the sanction of Lord must be there. It is important. Otherwise, despite all these arrangements, everything will be unsuccessful. So like King Yudhishthir here he knew all this. So he knew that king is the agent of the Supreme Lord to look after the welfare of the mass of people. He was thinking himself as a responsible one, as the agent of Supreme Lord to look after the people. So do our kings think like that nowadays?
No.
No, right? So this is what King Yudhishthir was ruling. This is how he was ruling. The control of the Lord is everywhere. And if the Lord is pleased, every part of nature is pleased. See, you can see if Lord is pleased, every part of nature is pleased. So what do we do to please the Lord? So it shows, right? We should do everything to please the Lord. The river will flow profusely to fertilize the land. So this is what happens if the Lord is pleased. What happens? The river will flow profusely to fertilize the land. The oceans will supply sufficient quantities of minerals, pearls, and jewels. The forest will supply sufficient wood, drugs, and vegetables. And the seasonal changes will effectively help produce fruits and flowers in profuse quantity. So if we have the sanction of the Lord, we get everything in abundance. Everything will get provided sufficiently. So the artificial way of living, depending on factories and tools, can render so-called happiness only to a limited number at the cost of millions. So the happiness, when we are dependent on these factories and tools, the happiness which we get is very, very limited, right? So let's see in 6 what is mentioned. It's time is getting over. Let's read quickly. Who wants to read next?
Mataji, can Tulsi read?
Okay, Tulsi, go ahead. I don't see anybody else.
Because of the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, diseases, or excessive heat or cold.
Yes, king had no enemies. So the people were very much happy in the kingdom, in his kingdom. So nowadays we see politicians have so many enemies, and because of the wars or arguments between them, the normal citizens suffer a lot, right? They get affected. But here King Yudhishthir, he had no enemies. So because there were no different nations now, everything was, the whole world was united. So, and the supreme head, being a trained like king, he was completely trained. Yudhishthir was completely trained, kept all the inhabitants free from anxiety, diseases, and excessive heat and cold. So this is what he was taking care of the citizens with so much responsibility, so that all these people in the kingdom were free from anxiety and diseases. Do you see such thing now, that people are completely away from anxiety? And no, because we see so much anxiety, so much depression, people are lonely, all these things are happening. There are so many different new diseases are coming. So at the time of when King Yudhishthir was ruling, all these things were not there. Anxiety was not there. There were no diseases. All the people in the kingdom were all happy. And then in the next 7th one, we will see that Lord Krishna resided at Hastinapur for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister. After this, when all these qualities of King Yudhishthira were explained, it is mentioned that Lord Shri Krishna resided at Hastinapur for a few more months. Why? To pacify his relatives and his own sister Subhadra. Why? Because Subhadra she had lost her son Abhimanyu, and that's why he stayed there to pacify. Because of his devotees, he stayed there for some more months. This is what is mentioned in the verse 7. So until 1st verse to 6th verse, all these qualities of King Yudhishthira are mentioned, how he was ruling the kingdom, and what was the scenario of the kingdom while he was ruling the world. Like we can see land, cows, there were no anxiety, no diseases. So all these qualities are mentioned. So what I will stop here now because you have your cooking session. Thank you all for listening so patiently. You can join your cooking. So
Mataji, usually it's on Wednesdays.
Huh?
No, usually the cooking session is on Wednesdays.
No, it's today, right? I think it's today.
Craft, okay, because Mataji, last week we did it on a Wednesday.
Oh, no, today you have craft?
Mataji, I don't know. Actually, I don't. Sometimes it's the opposite. So
don't we have craft with Padma Sakhi Mataji?
Yes, she takes Wednesdays. So I think you have your cooking today. Probably Mataji will post it in the chat and you all can gather your ingredients and then I will see you all next week.
I already have my ingredients.
Krishna Mataji, yes Mataji, today we are cooking.
Yeah. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhayavach patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vrunda Mataji. Vrunda Mataji ki jai.
All glory to you all. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, thank you.
You, Mataji.
People don't leave.
Do we need a mixing bowl for this?
Okay, let me post it in the group.
How did you eat?
Four people
Do we
already
need a
left.
bowl for this? Do we need a bowl for this?
Hare Krishna, is Mataji there already?
Yes, Mataji. I'm just joining in laptop, Mataji. One
Okay,
second.
sure, Mataji. By then, even I did not paste the ingredients today. I sent it in the group, but I forgot to paste it here. I'm going to paste it back.
Yeah. In 1 minute, I'm joining from lab.
Yeah.
People probably need a bowl.
So I already pasted in the WhatsApp group. As soon as the class started, I posted it. Right now, I'm posting it here again. So we are going to need.
Do we need a bowl for this? Do we need a bowl to put everything in?
Yeah, of course, we need to have a bowl so then we can keep everything, right? Where do we keep?
Yeah.
So we need bowl, we need tablespoon, measuring cup, all that we needed. See, I post everything, ingredients, what all we need. Milk, sugar, bread slices, whipping cream, powdered sugar, vanilla essence, food color, coconut powder, pistachios.
Mommy, are you gonna make it, Mommy?
What are we even making?
It depends upon if you behave good, we will make. Otherwise, you will miss it.
What are we even making?
Yes, Radha Rani Mataji, I'm going to give you go host.
Thank you so much.
Mataji.
Hari bol, everybody.
Bowl.
Sorry for the late.
Today, I'll not be able to do it because I don't have the ingredients.
That's okay. You can watch today, and whenever you have ingredients, you can do them. Okay?
Okay, Mataji.
Thank you.
Are we making?
Krishna Mataji, this is Makan. I do not have all the ingredients. I don't have bread. Slices. Okay. I had gone to the store to get it, but it wasn't available in the store at that time.
Oh, it's not available. Okay, Mukund. You can just watch today, or you can do it later. If you have any
if we don't have whipping cream, what do we do? Ice cream is. Can I put ice cream?
Ice cream is also fine.
Okay, Mataji.
Mataji.
Okay, we'll start with our ingredients.
Mataji, what are we making?
We are making, I'll just show you a simple dessert. We are making
Turkish slices, I think.
Yeah, bread slices, we need them.
Mataji, instead of bread slices, can we use chapati?
Mataji, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. If you don't have, you can use that. I was about to say that. Okay, we'll start with our recipe. Okay, now let's take our bread.
Mataji, can you show the final product?
Okay, I just made only one piece. A fridge lo undi isko. So just cut the bread. So it will look in this way, Mataji.
Oh.
Wow, yummy, Mataji.
Yeah, even I was not having bread, Mataji, so I just had like 1 or 2 slices. So I just tried with one bread. So now I just
wow, very nice, Mataji.
Yeah, it looks in this way. We are making this dessert today. Okay.
Do we make the bread into a square?
Yeah, we'll dip it in the milk. I'll show you. Okay, just cut the bread, all the edges. You're not comfort with the knife, you can just use the scissors. Okay, I don't want you to use the knife, so just take the scissors and cut all the edges. All the brown part, you can cut them. We'll just make it one. I'm just taking 2 slices. And now in one mixing bowl, little white and take half cup of milk.
How much milk?
Half cup of milk, half cup measurement, okay? If you want to make more also, this is enough. And now add like 2 tablespoons sugars.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. You can hear me, right? Hare Krishna Krishna.
Mute everybody.
Can you get some spoon or anything?
Okay.
Just mix it.
Krishna Hare.
Just make sure that all your sugar is mixed. It is fully mixed, the milk. And now take your bread slice. So you have done till here, right? Just I just took milk and sugar. That's it, okay? Just take the bread and just dip it just for 1 second, not more than that. Each side 1 second. If it is more, then it will press gently. If you dip more or if you do it hard, the bread might break. So just do, then turn it around.
Like meters, the wavelength.
Just press it gently. This is very important point. We have to press it gently with your fingers. Just turn around and then okay, you will get in this way.
Well, what are we doing right now?
So you're asking this one or what dessert we are doing like that you're asking?
Mataji, 2 slices at once, Mataji?
What,
or 1
Mataji?
slice only?
Yeah, 1 slice is enough, Mataji. If you want to make
at one time. Okay.
Just keep
Wait,
them.
so are we applying whipped cream on here?
Yeah, we are applying. We'll make whipped cream now. Just keep it in the plate which you are using. Then keep this aside. And now, in one more bowl, just take like this. Okay. Measuring cup. That 1/4. Can you get that white color measuring cup? 1/3. And now I'm just using this whipping cream. Heavy whipping. Just we have to use 1/3 cup of measuring cup. Okay, hold it. Can't hold it. See, this is 1/3 cup. And now just add little sugar. Just like half a tablespoon might be enough. I mean to say that powder sugar. This is 1 tablespoon. I'm just adding half. If you skip this also, that's fine. It's up to you. If you don't want to add, you don't add. And now just add little vanilla essence, half teaspoon of vanilla essence, and some just 1 or 2 drops of food color.
We have to add.
If you don't have food color, if you want to add some berries or anything, you can add. This is optional, or you can just leave that also. without adding food color, okay? Yeah. And now take, we are making this like an icing. On the cakes, we'll be using it, right? So we'll be making icing now. So we have to blend it. Just bend like this. Want me to keep me in mute, I can do that. Or if you all are fine, I can just leave it.
Mataji?
Yes.
How much heavy whipping cream do we add again?
1/3 cup of, just very little, 1/3. With that only you'll get so much. You can use for 3-4 breads, okay?
Oh, okay.
It should come into a thick icing, you know, right? On the cake you will be using. Just take 3 to 4 minutes. That's it. Almost half done. We'll do little more. So we'll get, yes.
What's the speed level?
You can use medium level. Not too slow or not too high. Medium level you can use. It in like 3 to 5 minutes, you'll get in this consistency, okay? It will be in this thick, see. So this is what we'll be using for the cakes also, the icing. So now if you make any cupcakes or anything, you can use in this way. Just take the whipping cream and just blend it, okay? You'll get in this thick consistency. And now the bread which you have done before, just take that bread, press a little bit. And spread on this. Spreading, okay. Just take from one edge. Just spread it. From all the edges also you can spread it. If you want more, you can add more, or if you want less, you can add less. Just try to spread whatever you have added. equally. So now from one edge, just try to roll it. So just press on the edges and spread a little bit like this. And if you have more extra, just keep it on the sides. Just take little more and keep it on the sides. So fill everything. And turn in this way. So this is our top side. If you have anything extra, just remove it. Now take any nuts, whatever you have, you can just little for garnishing. On the top, you can add some pistachios and cashews. I have chopped them in the small pieces in this way. And take few of them and you can add in the sides also. So this is our Turkish roll.
Mataji, do we have to handle it carefully because it will break?
Yeah, you can cut them in the pieces. If you are not able to handle it, you can just cut them in these pieces. So this, you can keep them in the refrigerator for 10 minutes or 15 minutes so that it will become little harder. So I just kept this like 15 to 20 minutes before. When our class started, I just made this. So it is little hard. It was okay to hold it. See, it is in this way. So it will be like the rasgulla or in that way, right? Like rasmalai. So if you are not able to hold it, you can just cut them into the pieces. I just made this, right? So it might be little. So you can hold in these small pieces in this way. It looks in this way. Or you can have, I'll cut this and we'll see how this looks. So this small piece is easy to hold, right? So then the bigger one.
I think the bigger one is easy for you.
Easy for you? Yeah. Then you can hold. See, this is little easy. It's not that hard. It will be not that cushy. So why? Because we have binded it also on the edge. So it's okay. If you keep it in the refrigerator for fridge for 10 minutes, it's fine to hold it. Okay. So this is our Turkish roll. So did anybody make it? Would you like to show it? Hope you all like the dessert.
Can I make it tomorrow, Mataji?
Yes. Whenever you're all able to make it, you can make it. And you can post it in the group, okay? So did anybody make today with me? You want to show it? Were you able to do? I'm sorry. From next time, I'll post the little early. By Sunday, I'll try to post it.
Mataji, are you on the laptop? Can you spotlight me? Add a spotlight. If you go to near my image, it will be there. I could come there, but my hands are bad.
Okay.
Just near the picture.
It's like
USA. It is written, right, Mataji? That one.
Hit the 3 dots and then, or my hit the 3 dots.
Okay. Otherwise, that's fine, Mataji. You can see me, right? I will show you.
Yeah, I can.
I don't know if you can see it, Mataji.
Nice, Mataji. It looks nice.
Thank you, Mataji. Something with the bread. I have lots of bread.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just use the ice cream because I don't have whipped cream and everything.
Yeah, that's fine, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Kids will enjoy Mataji. Thank you so much. So, is there anybody who would like to show, or we will close the call here? Okay, if there are nobody who would like to show it, we can close it here.
Yeah, anybody would like to show? Or whenever you have time, you can make it on weekends or anything, you can share. Whenever you make it, you can share it in the group, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
So
Mataji.
it's little easy, right? Easy dessert you can make sometime and you can offer to Krishna. And I think so your parents will also enjoy. Okay, you can make for them sometime. Okay. We still
Thank you,
have...
Mataji. We will close the call here. It is already 7:12.
Okay.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrunda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radha Rani Mataji ki jai, all little Govinda kids ki jai. Bye bye, kids.
Krish, you are making it?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
No? Okay. Yeah, whenever you make, you can post it.
You can make it later and send it. Okay? Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.